provided each nurse with a little Red Cross card, and that gave us initial information, and it was wonderful when you had a full name and an address, because you could immediately start to follow your nurse and discover her story. So my first nurse was a lady called Mary Ann Saunders, and she had been born in 1884, so that made her a little bit older when she started nursing in 1914. She had lived her whole life in Sandy Lane, Caldicot, and she had been part of a family of 5, but sadly it was only her brother and herself that outlived her parents. So her father Thomas was what was called a tin plater sorter, and he worked at the tin works in Caldicot. It seems as if there wasn't a lot of money in the family, because in 1901, when she was 16, she worked in another household as a servant. That meant she'd had to leave the family home. By 1911, in the census, we were able to find that she was back at home, and she was now teaching. She was teaching in a local school. She then became a volunteer nurse in 1914, and she will have been doing that after her day with work as a teacher, so that's quite a big commitment to have made. She carried on being a teacher all her life, so I was able to find her again on the 1939 census, and she was still teaching. At this stage we didn't know which school she was in, so in lockdown my husband and I, when we were allowed out, we went exploring and we found where she lived, and then we walked to the nearest school, which was Caldicot C&E Infants and Junior School in Church Road. And we then found, we were able to access the logbook of the school, and we did find that this was where she had worked, so she could have walked from home to the school. And she started off her teaching career as an assistant in 1907, and then by 1911 she had been made a teacher of the school, and she taught there until, I think records show, 1944, so she's had a long career as a teacher. She'd never married, so she lived with her mother, who died in about 1933 at the age of 80, so possibly she'd been a carer for her mother. But it just shows the commitment that somebody of her generation made to teach all her life, work as a nurse when she could in the war. She gave great service to the local community and to the people of Caldicot, and I really resonated with her because I'm a teacher myself, and I thought, after a day's teaching, to then go and volunteer as a nurse was quite something.